What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say, 94 of my Total Warhammer 3 Ikit Claw Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we saw off the last of Teclis's armies, destroying it with our garrison of some place of Nahuantl, as well as a random lord that we summoned to help the defense. We ended off the episode with CORPABLE, whose ambush apparently failed or was otherwise foiled, and he is getting attacked by two big ol' lizard stacks. Looks like this is going to be a pretty difficult battle, a Pyrrhic victory along, or according to the battle result, and high casualties, which means it should be a pretty fun one. Exciting times. Let's get right to it. Just got to make sure that we knock down a decent amount of the dinos before they make it to our main line. That'll be key to the victory, and of course CORPABLE will try to hunt down a few lords just like he did Thorek and his lords as well. Here we go.
Agreed, yes.
Alrighty, CORPABLE, I hope you're excited, buddy, because I certainly am. We may not have gotten our ambush, but this does mean we should get a very nice battle. Two scary stacks, lots and lots of Saurus as infantry, and they should do pretty well against Stormvermin and just tons and tons of dinos. The enemy does look like they are willing to wait a little bit for the reinforcements to arrive, however, which means we should be able to get a decent amount of work from our Jezzails. So listen to them fire for a bit. And there we go. We can see them firing fairly high into the sky because of the angles of their guns there. And I suppose it also makes sense with gravity pulling the bullets down. But yeah, Jezzails have always been much higher angle shots than I would have thought. But considering the distance that their bullets travel, it does make sense. It's what, 3 times further than a handgunner? A little bit more than 2. Yeah. Pretty good. Anyway, we got our reinforcements arriving ourselves, and we will be wanting to use them in conjunction, essentially, with CORPABLE's army, putting them in front and hopefully taking extra hits for the rest of our units. Unfortunately, though, our Jezzails can't actually reach the enemy dinos. This map is not, it's not doing us any favors, really. The dunes here, while they are relatively small, are quite adept at blocking shots, and in fact, I was trying to get a decent position for the Warp Lightnings as well, and we did put them on top of this little dune. But yeah, it looks like the enemy is essentially hiding its dinos over here, or at least it was, and we were unable to shoot them because of this. We did move one of our units of Warplock Jezzails in close enough, and it looks like it will at least be able to fire on this unit, on this Feral Basti, but it can't fire on this Basti here. I did try, but it looks like this little hill is also blocking them, so yeah. And this is going to make this battle even more dangerous. And yes, while we will be able to clear out at least a few Saurus, which our Jezzails are currently doing, it does still mean that there's going to be so many dinos able to charge our front lines. And even these Saurus, the hill is also doing a fairly decent job of blocking shots here. Mostly because half of the unit of Saurus is over the hill, but the other half is directly behind it, which means the shots can't actually travel through it, and as we can see, a few of them still sail over the heads of these Saurus as well. So yeah, we're definitely going to get some damage from the Jezzails, but probably not as much as usual, which we really did need in this particular battle. At least one of the Stegs, or Feral Basties rather, will be seen off here, so we won't have to worry about it. I don't know if it'll die, but it'll be so badly damaged that it's not really going to be a concern. How the other dinos kind of move in to block those shots. Anyway, I think we've seen enough of that, so I'm just going to speed up the battle a little bit as we continue to do damage. One of the great things about the Basties moving here also is the fact that one of our Jezzails can now target them, and the Jezzails will also now switch to the Ancient Salamanders, which are very scary units for our Storm Vermin. Maybe we can at least knock one out. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, it's gonna go behind the hill and we will no longer be able to target it. And it looks like that has annoyed the enemy army sufficiently and they will be charging towards us. Looks like we were able to badly damage 3 units. So 1 Ancient Sally, 1 Feral Bastard, actually 5 units. I was just counting the dinos. 2 dinos, and then 3 units of Saurus, though all of those units do still remain alive. Hopefully the Warp Lightnings and Jezzails can at least knock a few more of these dinos out before they get into combat range. And then it'll have to be dinos versus giants. Alright, come on, how close are we here? This Ancient Sally goes down. Well done to the Jezzails and the Warp Lightnings, but there are so many more enemies to take care of. Alrighty, we've also done target the Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas, which are very much a threat as well, and did knock them out of the sky, and it looks like the battle has been joined between our Storm Vermin and Giant and some Feral Cold Ones on the flanks over here. In addition to that, the enemy solar engines have actually decided to fire on our Jezzails, which does make sense. Not only will it give them debuffs, but also does fairly heavy damage. This one's already down to only 23 units, so a couple nice shots from those solar engines. Definitely have to watch out, and we got more of those coming in. Down to 21 on this Warplug Jezzail unit now, and we're just going to hide them behind the dunes ourselves, just like the enemy was doing, and as well make sure that they can't see them, and because of stock, want them to retarget other things. Nice shot from those Warp Lightnings moving through the piles of Saurus there. A Giant is also going to wade in together with the Storm Vermin, and we see in the background our Death Globes are going to start off the enemy Saurus as well. But look at all those dinos and Saurus everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we count the Croxies, 6 dinos essentially in one area, damn. It's gonna get iffy, and in fact, unlike most battles where we usually keep these Storm Vermin back here, this cannot be the case. We have to commit every single unit pretty much immediately, so the massive front line is fully engaged. And we have to try to hold back the dinos from reaching our range units. Giants are obviously fighting the dinos as best they can, but there's not enough giants to go around. And there's those Death Globes. Hopefully they don't do too much damage to our own Storm Vermin. Try to clear out those Saurus, and of course our Jezzails are now back in action and firing on enemy units once more. Another Giant trying to take care of some Kroxigors and Saurus. It is nice that we're getting a lot of great shots of the Giants doing their thing as well. You know, I really like the Giants in this army. It's actually quite disappointing, and I know I've said this before, but the fact that we have such a limited amount of units that we can get from the Beastmen, and I still don't understand why we still can't access Jabberslights or Cygors. Like, what the heck? How, I don't know how it's determined. It feels like it's late enough into the game where we would have access to Jabberslights and Cygors. I don't even necessarily want Cygors. We have better artillery in the Jezzails than the Cygors are, but it's just a matter of principle and maybe a few differences or a little bit of extra variety in terms of the different forces that we can build. Anyway, we are at about 75% balance of power now. It looks like we're doing pretty good. Obviously, we're taking quite a lot of damage as well, and though fortunately the Storm Vermin aren't taking nearly as much as the garrison forces are, which are really quite helpful in this particular situation. Not only taking shots from the enemies, but taking shots from our own units as well. And there we go. Ooh, that one's gonna hit the Storm Vermin a little bit, but oh well. Otherwise, it looks like the main enemy line is collapsing. CORPABLE has actually caught one of the enemy lords and is now working on the second one, who should be done for shortly as well. And the Jezzails are doing a fairly decent job at sniping all of those solar engines. In fact, the solar engines have dropped and are now going to be switching towards the other types of dinos. Otherwise, it looks like the enemy army is starting to shatter. All the dinos are not going to be enough to break through CORPABLE's line. Very nice. Alright, well done to the Council Guard here for keeping all these Basties. I suppose, Feral Basties and Stegs have relatively low leadership compared to the other higher tier dinos. Oh, Giants. Our poor Giants have been taking hits from our own Warp. I like how he turns around to look at the Warp Lightning cannons. he got real salty about that whole thing. Yeah, they've been taking shots from our own cannons for a while. Anyway, we're gonna try our best to knock out as many of these dinos as they try to run away as possible. There is probably a limited amount that we can. And there we go, down goes up. No, he's gonna get back up. Alright, CORPABLE, knock out that enemy source Soul Blood, and it will speed it back up afterwards. But yeah, it looks like one of the issues that's going to be a thing for this particular battle, down goes the source Old Blood now, is the fact that the enemy has so damn many units that we're just plain not going to be able to chase most of them down. And in fact, the dinos are fast enough to get out of the range of both the Jezzails and the Warp Lightning cannons fairly quickly as well. Well, either way, CORPABLE is going to try to give chase to one of the feral stegs, and as I've noted in previous battles here, much better off doing this. Rather than running behind it and then biting at its tail, move in front of it to the side, and it kind of stops the unit. Just by virtue of the mass of the brood horror, I suppose. Alrighty, and yeah, it looks like a couple more dinos escaped, but we did get a heroic victory. Gotta remember that our army was hurt and the enemy had much scarier forces available to them, so I'm once again very proud of CORPABLE. Also, I really like this map with the destroyed little thoroughfare with obelisks on the side leading up to the temple or ziggurat or whatever the heck is in the background. I can't quite see. Step pyramid, maybe? Well, either way. And there's a regular pyramid right there. But yeah, heroic victory, great job to CORPABLE. Let's go next. Alright, very well done as usual to CORPABLE, and oh wow, none of the garrison units were actually fully destroyed. That one's a little bit surprising. 'Twas a heroic victory, and frankly, CORPABLE has a habit of both getting heroic victories and, in general, on top of that, getting glorious battles against massive numbers of enemy units. We have also, unfortunately, left quite a few of these dinos alive, so we will have to deal with them afterwards. We're going to heal up even though we are in our own territory, just in case, because we're going to have to follow these guys next turn, as soon as we get to it. Malekith is going to, damn, end our non-aggression pact. That ain't great. That ain't great at all. At least he hasn't ended our trade agreement. We'll try to give him some money a few times, and... Cetra wants a trade. Should we just trade with Cetra? Do we just keep ignoring him? Or just let him keep fighting, let him keep fighting Skarbrand for ages? It's kind of a funny dynamic. You know, on the other hand, I feel like Cetra, or Skarbrand rather, would probably just enjoy the endless fighting. Let's just do it. Let's get a trade agreement going with Cetra. It's not like we have armies there right now anyway, so it's not like we care either. And we have another underway interception, but... I mean, it is a bunch of orc biggins. I was about to say, maybe this isn't worth fighting, but on the other hand, maybe it is. It's a decisive victory with the low casualties, but Treach hasn't gotten a lot of action lately. Well, I mean, we just got him up, but, yeah, you know, we can fight this one as well. There we go. Alrighty, wow, what the heck is going on with the textures of this ground here? Well, that's a little bit weird. But yeah, here we go. Treach, okay, I can't even look at that. Treach Craventail finally on the field with his own little army. Hopefully that goes away after a while. You can't see it from this distance. It's very strange. Anyway, Treach Craventail is on the field, as I've been trying to say, in an underway interception. Now, the Storm Vermin have, I feel, fairly similar stats in some ways to the Orc Boys. Yeah, they have much lower melee attack, or we're at, no, maybe not much lower. I guess it depends on the type of Storm Vermin unit. Yeah, there's a pretty big disparity between them and the Halberds. Halberds only have 28 melee attack, man. That's a huge difference. But yeah, we also have a much more armor. What's the weapon strength like by comparison? 54 weapon strength on the sword and shield. Oh wow, they actually hit harder than Biggins? Huh. That doesn't feel right. Like, I would absolutely expect a Biggin orc to be much, much stronger in terms of physical strength than a Stormvermin. But oh well. Let's just say that Treach just buffs them up so nicely that they're stronger. Or maybe it's the quality of their weapons that makes it such. Anyway, looks like the enemy did try to rush forward with their trolls as the beginning portion of the battle, and we are obviously sniping them as best we can with our Giselles. Our Giselles are going to take this opportunity to back off while we sacrifice a unit of Menace Below clan rats, but fortunately we have plenty more of those where that came from. And then as soon as we've opened up enough of a distance or summoned another unit, we will turn and get a few more shots on these trolls. It would be nice to knock at least a decent amount of them out here before the enemy gets to our main line, though I'm sure that the Rattling guns would be able to take care of them just fine as well. Alrighty, here comes the next set of clan rats to get in the way of the trolls. And as soon as they're up, that means the Giselles can turn and fire once more. And I'm sure they'll be killing plenty of the Menace Below clan rats, but as usual, we hardly care about that. Let's see if we can't see at least one of these river trolls off. And there are 2 units here. This one... no, actually the other one did run off, didn't it? Alright, so now there's just the one. Alright, and it looks like we're going to have to back off once more, but you know what? We can send Treach and his Guardian Chieftain in. Alright, just to distract the enemy trolls, and it looks like they wanted to back off. Nice hit, 1-hit KO from the chieftain there on one of those troll hags, and then while these guys are distracted, we'll get a few more shots on them with our Giselles, but if they don't want to chase, that works fine as well, as we'll back the chieftain off lest it gets surrounded by the other units that are approaching, and move back towards our main line. Alrighty, looks like these trolls are outie. Down to 2 units, and in fact no more shots needed as they are shattered and will get off the map. It looks like the enemy is starting to move into range of our Rattling gunners as well, and all these piles of storm vermin that Treach likes to bring. Unfortunately, we don't have a hill to fire down from, but that's okay. I just love listening to the Rattling guns fire. A lovely sound effect. And there we go. Looks like the Orc boys and Biggins are moving into this absolutely, well, I wouldn't say massive number of Rattling gun fire, but Rattling guns firing rather, but still a fairly decent amount. Hardly as many as Ikit's, and here come the trolls and Treach, and ooh, nice knockback with that Verminous Valor on the guard. Oh wow, what the heck? Huh, I guess all these trolls are knocked down. Yeah, the models aren't dead, it's... huh. Oh, I didn't know that. So Verminous Valor knocks monstrous infantry down. It staggers every single unit of monstrous infantry that it reaches. Okay, well, it's good to know that for the future. I'll definitely be making sure to make use of that particular effect more often. I assumed that it would only essentially knock back regular infantry, but the fact that it knocks down the monstrous kind as well is very useful. A lot more useful than I thought, I should say. Alrighty, but here come the rest of the enemy units, as in the piles upon piles of enemy Biggins. They are still getting gunned down by our Rattling guns, as well as our Giselles firing from behind the lines, and now the Doom Flayers as well, who are going to move into their line to take the brunt of their charge and then be followed in by the Storm Vermin. Working together, the Storm Vermin and the Doom Flayers, which has been a sort of synergy that I've been waiting to use for quite a while, and just needed to build them in a few more armies, and I definitely want a couple of armies that are basically built around the concept. But it is quite a nice one. Alrighty, and I guess you could do the same thing with clan rats, but at this point in the game, it seems like a waste to bother with clan rats. Unless it's an army sort of like Scalpite's army, where you're going to be sacrificing all those units anyway. Kind of a waste to build Storm Vermin if you're expecting your own units to rip them apart. Anyway, looks like the battle's going fairly well and in our favor. Treach is trying to move towards the enemy lord, who is currently fighting our chieftain, but unfortunately Treach doesn't have much mass, so it is kind of difficult for him to get to where he needs to be through all these piles of orcs. It's okay though, the chieftain can keep the enemy distracted while Treach makes his way slowly through the enemy lines. The storm vermin continue to hold ground and the rattling guns continue to fire over, through, and above our units. And they're doing a really good job on these flanks here. Look at all those dead from the rattling gun fire. And very nice. And another Verminous Valor coming in, and the Lord will shatter, and in fact, the entire enemy army will shatter as well, just as Treach gets into the fight with the enemy Lord. Granted, he did get to kill a few of the enemy regular units. What's he at, incidentally? 22 kills, not so bad. And he's just trying to chase down the enemy lord, and oh, it looks like he actually did manage to kill him there. Yeah, very nice, Treach. He actually got the kill. Beautiful. And yeah, definitely got to give that one to our rattling guns, however. I'm sure they did most of the damage, plus their positioning was really quite nice, and the sheer amount of enemy infantry really worked against them, because the firing lanes between our piles of storm vermin and just allowed the rattling guns to clean up. Well done. I'm sure we'll find much more difficult battles with Fort Treach, especially or hopefully when we get his army maxed out with what we're wanting to put into it. Alright, there we go. Nice little debut for Treach there. Not a difficult battle by any means, but you know what? His army isn't actually all that bad in this current form. It isn't the final form of the army. We are just using it because, well, we used Treach to replace the lord that was carrying it before, and I do intend to get Treach a few units that could take better advantage of the devastating flanker trait, like, I don't know, maybe 4 units of Death Runners, and, well, at the very least 4 units of Death Runners, and we'll see what else. He's definitely still has to have a bunch of Storm Vermin, as he is nonetheless a Storm Vermin Lord, even if they don't get a crazy amount of value out of Devastating Flanker, just due to their relative slowness. We are going to... I mean, technically we should heal in this territory, just in case, continue the healing. Get extra healing. Helman Gorst, Caravan of Blue Roses. What you want, buddy? You want to give us money, and you really want that defensive agreement, eh? Now, we could do this right now, or we could try it next turn. I'm thinking we really want to get the Bone Gulch territory. Oh man, the map got all screwy. It's over here somewhere, yeah, so the Bone Gulch needs to be owned by us because it is part of the Fortress of Vorag territory. So if he still wants this next turn, we could do that plus money to reduce the likelihood, although we do have 35. Let's see. Bone Gulch. Minus 14, and not enough. Join war against. We're trading with these guys right now, so, well, I can't, we were only trading with one of them, I don't remember with which. Oh, wow. Minus 8.6 and 35k is not enough, damn. He's not gonna be willing to do that. Might not be able to take Bone Gulch unless we trade him an actual settlement. Okay, well, we'll see about that, but I guess we'll see about it later. Let's exit that, and let's continue through the end of the turn. Oh, there's a full stack here now. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that, and Otrolio is going to attack this place. I don't think we care that much. Maybe we could just rebuild it. Defensive supplies, no equipment available. I don't remember whether this actually has a military structure or not, or a garrison structure. Because if it doesn't, then this is pointless. If it does... There's still no way that we can bring Otrolio himself down here, is there? Yeah, it's a waste of time, just auto-resolve it. I don't think we care. He can take it, we'll hunt him down with Morphific or whoever's nearby anyway. Oh no, you're gonna move up there. Alright, well, luck to you, friendo. Not sure that's going to help out. Clan Creepus, that's a funny one, is going to seek refuge. Great for Creepus. I guess we can accept the refugees. We're just going to keep doing this. Another Rocket Boots. I can have a free Rocket Boots. I'm not big on the actual item, but the other option is only 2,000 XP, so... Since the options aren't that good anyway. Alright, ally mobilizes against settlement, enemy killed in battle all over the place, a ruin unrestrained. Nice. From defeating Teclis, that's great for you. Constructors, ambush foiled, Rite of Awakening, ambusher discovered, settlement sacked, ally occupies settlement, charge lock is loyal again, and Deathmaster Snitch is ready for duty when booed. Who the heck are you? Level 35 engineer? I don't even remember having a level 35 engineer. A bunch of other things are ready for duty as well. Alright, and then we have like 50,000 confederations at the end of every turn. Ugh. Who the heck are you? Sharp claws and... Huh. I mean, yes, he has sharp claws, just kind of meh, but at his current level, he's a high enough level that I feel like maybe we can actually put him to use in an army. Even if sharp claws is meh. Also, what's our engineer capacity again? It's still 16 out of 16. Yeah, okay, well, we'll need to deal with that. Also, before I forget, we'll need to deal with this. Upgrade. 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 It's gonna take 13 turns, so ages. I wasn't even really originally going to bother upgrading these, but at this point, why the heck not? Like so. Alrighty. And man, these are at 0 control despite every single one having a Taskmaster's platform as well. Well, oh wow, we've dropped down to 37k. Damn, we were just at 50-ish k. Oh, well, that hurts. And that really hurts. Oh well. Also, it looks like Kruglug Muckraka didn't in fact attack Throt the Unclean, which means Throt could attack him instead. We also have Otrolio here, which is reachable by charge lock. The question is, do we go after Otrolio? Oh, when... Damn. Throg is nearby, so he could take Beckhoffen. I wonder who moves first, Throg or Otrolio? Hard to say. It would be annoying if he took the Tevo, but I'm not sure he would be able to stand up to Throg's army. Well, either way, that's all not super important, and we'll have to deal with it another time, as I am going to have to call the episode here, and just want to do one thing before we do. We're going to take you, we're going to replace you, and we're going to get Deathmaster Snitch in here. Where are you, Snitchy? There we go. Oh, he's level 34. Wow, he's actually quite nicely leveled for us already. Now, he already does have Infiltrator. They've wasted points on Bonded Service. A Blastmaster is... Huh. These skills are actually pretty okay. Minus Bonded Service over Ancient Cunning, which is a waste, but surprisingly decent job, Snitch. Now, you go for 8 melee attack from embedded heroes, which is why we have so many embedded heroes. Bonuses when ambushing, makes sense. Attribute Strider, charge bonus, fine. Concealment bombs for Night Runners and Gutter Runners. Upkeep reduction, just dodge it. And enemy leadership reduction. Oh, interesting. Alright, so Snitch doesn't actually have any direct buffs to any units at all. He has indirect buffs to all units. Well, I mean, he has direct buffs to all units, but I mean, not any specific single unit type, which is quite interesting. I guess the only one that he does get is the concealment bombs for Night Runners and Gutter Runners. Yeah, quite interesting. Alrighty, well then his army is fine as it is, so we don't need the Death Runners or the Eshin Triads. It is quite a lot of Gutter Runners with poison, but I do think that this would be a pretty interesting army to try out. So we're gonna keep it like that. We'll redo Snitch's points, I should say, next episode, and we're going to head him out. I was originally going to send him to Cathay, but frankly, he's so far away from it at this point, it might be easier to go through Lustria. And Lord Skrolk is going there at the same time, so why not send 2 legendary lords to Lustria at exactly the same time? And they can arrive, they can help each other spread out through the jungles, and then once done, I guess Snitch can go to Cathay, though of course depending on how long we actually want to run in this campaign, as in how long interest interest in it will remain. Anyway, stay tuned for more rats, at least for now. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm.
Master engineer.
And thanks for watching.